Today I just felt like coming on and talking about what I talk about on my Instagram. And that is basically why I got rid of about 50% of everything that we owned, which sounds shocking, and I'm going to get into it, but I've been talking about this over on Instagram for the past probably 3 years, every week. So if you're intrigued by this, there is years worth of content on my Instagram. I'll link it below for you. You can check that out. But I decided I wanted to come on here and make like a long form series about everything that I share in short form over there. So let's start from the beginning. I am a mom of 2. My girls are 3 and 6. And when my second daughter was born, I obviously had less time than I had when I just had one. And I started thinking about all the time that it takes to do all the things that moms need to do in a day. And that was when I realized that I wanted to do things differently. Motherhood is typically portrayed one certain way on social media. That is that the mom has to be crazy busy, crazy stressed, overwhelmed, just running in circles, never able to catch up, long to-do list. And I realized there is a different way to live. So if you're familiar with my channel, I've been posting content on this channel right here for like over 14 years. I started as a teenager, and I know some of you have been here since the beginning. So you guys know that I've always been a very clean, organized person. I was one of the first people on the internet to start making cleaning videos, like clean with me's. That was a big thing in like 2016, like around the time I got married. I was always a super clean and tidy person, but after I had 2 kids, I realized like I don't want to be putting in too much time maintaining my house. So how can I keep like a nice, clean, tidy, organized house without having to spend hours every day on the house? I bought more bins, I organized more, I rearranged things, and then I realized for me personally, the key to a less stressed, more simple, slow living life is just owning less. And it really is that simple. I would rather own less than clean more. And this is when I started thinking, like, I need to just take a look around every room, and I'm going to declutter until I can like tidy up every room in the house in no more than 5 minutes. I don't want it to take me more than 5 minutes to fully put a room back together. If this room gets messy, and I want to be able to go in there and within a few minutes reset that room. So this is when I realized I'm going to just start by halving what we own. I feel like 50% is a really good starting point if you just cut it in half. So your clothes, your toys, your home decor, just half it. It's a great starting point. I looked at our flat surfaces. I'm like, what can I remove from the flat surfaces? That way when it is time to clean, I can just come in here and hop right into the cleaning. That has been such a game changer. If you have all this stuff that needs to be moved around before you can get into the actual cleaning, that's what makes cleaning feel so daunting, you know? Like, it isn't the act of getting out your spray bottle and like a rag and wiping off the dresser. It's the fact that you have to like take all this stuff off the dresser. So once I started, I couldn't stop. I realized like this is actually life-changing for me, especially as a mom of 2, a wife. Like, this is a big deal. I feel like so many mothers and women in general could benefit from living this way. I've been trying different kombucha flavors from Whole Foods, and my favorite one that I've had lately is the pickle one. I think it's new. I had never seen it there before, but a few weeks ago I noticed they had pickle kombucha, and it's so good, but this is like a berry one. What really inspired me to share this is that I hadn't seen anybody talking about this in the way that I do, or like sharing really exactly what I've done. I know there are accounts about being like minimalist, like a true minimalist, where you get rid of basically everything you own. If there's like 4 family members, you have 4 cups, stuff like that. And I am not a minimalist, so I call it like simple living. I've simplified our home, I've simplified our life. So you'll see me like say simple home, and it's just like a term that is less extreme than minimalism, I feel like, because the goal isn't to own as little as possible. The goal is really just to simplify your life to a point that feels good to you personally and that is easy to maintain. So when people ask me like, well, how much should I get rid of? Like, how do I know when to stop? There is no guideline, because it's different for everybody. Everybody has a different threshold of what they can manage in life. Like a mom with a bunch of little kids is going to be able to manage a different amount than maybe a mom with older kids who can take care of their things on their own more. it depends on your lifestyle, like how busy you are, how big your home is. There are too many factors for me to tell you how much to get rid of, and that's why I just call it simplifying. Simple home, simple living, like that is the goal, just to simplify until it feels good to you, it feels manageable to you. When I started sharing about this on Instagram, it got a lot of traction. People were very intrigued. I think a lot of people thought it was kind of like one way or the other, like you're a minimalist or you're not, but there really is this great middle ground where you just reduce the number of items that you have. And again, the point isn't to just own as little as possible. The point isn't really for the aesthetics. And while I do think the aesthetics have a huge benefit, I think living in a more simple space is just more peaceful for your whole family. My husband would agree with this. Like, I think that my kids feel the same. Just being in a more calm, simple environment, I think, is a huge benefit. But some people who like don't really watch my content but will come across it on Instagram or something might, you know, leave some negative comment about how like the aesthetic, whatever. And I'm like, it's not for the aesthetic. I can't explain this to you in 3 seconds on like my Instagram short. But I didn't really start this like for the aesthetic. I started this because I'm a mother who wants to be able to sit down with my kids when they want me to play with them. I want to sit with them and I want to play with them. And I don't want to feel that nervous feeling inside about all the things that I need to do, or all the laundry that needs to be done, or my to-do list that's piling up in my head. I realized so early on in motherhood that that is not for me. So where did I begin? Like I said, I cut what we own in half, and I started with big categories. So just think about the things that you own the most of: clothes, home decor, toys. Then I got into more specific, like smaller categories like paper clutter. Something that bothers me about social media is just the way that you kind of either see motherhood being portrayed as like you have to be like this type B mom who doesn't care that the house is a mess because, you know, in the name of childhood, like let it be crazy. I kind of hate that messaging. It's controversial, maybe. It shouldn't be because it's just my opinion, but I don't think that is a helpful message to moms. Like, naturally, most moms are going to feel overwhelmed if they have a really long to-do list, if they have no time for themselves, if they're just trying to manage too much. And just telling them like, it's fine, in the name of childhood, let it be, let everything go crazy, even though you feel high cortisol all rushing through your body, like as you walk through your home and you are so stressed out, it's fine, like motherhood. I absolutely hate that. No, like it doesn't have to be that way. It isn't wrong to want a clean house as a mother, and that doesn't mean that you're like enjoying your kids' childhood less or that you're not savoring it enough. What a toxic message. Like, I just see it too much on Instagram. I'm like, this is not good. It is very normal to want to maintain a peaceful home for your family, and I think that it's possible. I just don't think it's possible with the way that most people live. Overconsumption is huge. Everybody has Amazon coming to their door every week. Like, just the overconsumption in the world that we live in today is huge. And then trying to manage stuff for a whole family. Maybe it was manageable when it was like just you, but then you got married. Now you have like you and your husband. Maybe you have one kid, a few kids. The more your family grows and the more stuff that is in your home, the harder it is to maintain if you're not careful about what you're bringing in. My favorite thing to do every day is to just sit on the floor and play with my little girls, craft with them, read with them, sit with them, talk to them. I just want to do everything with them, and I want them to also enjoy the benefits of having a clean and peaceful home. This isn't going to resonate with everybody, and that's okay with me. If it resonates with some of you, then that's good enough for me. I'm excited to show a different way of living that's probably a lot different than what you're seeing on the rest of the internet. When I get up in the morning, I make my bed, and then my room is pretty much clean. There isn't stuff all over the place that needs to be put away and organized and little things on all the surfaces. I make the bed, and then the room is pretty much clean. And starting off the day that way, just by spending 30 seconds making the bed and then the rest of the day my room looks nice, it just has such a big impact on how you feel when you walk through your house. And having little systems throughout the house, and like my laundry routine that I follow, I do 1 load of laundry start to finish each day, which means washed, dried, folded, put away. And then every now and then I'll do like an extra if I have some rugs or blankets or whatever that need to be done. But I feel like the one load of laundry start to finish each day is just so manageable for me. I usually carry it down at night, like when the girls are asleep and I'm getting ready to go to bed, I'll carry it down and drop it into the washer at night. That way in the morning, like whenever I want, I can just go in and start it. And it's all these little habits and routines that I have started and like put together, and these systems that I've put in place that just makes my life run so smoothly now. I think slow living and like a more simple lifestyle is just so underrated. And I want you guys to just give it a try and see if it improves your life. So I'm excited to share more with you. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram, where I have years worth of content on this topic. You can go just binge my reels right now. I have like tons of practical tips saved in my highlights, but make sure you're subscribed. Be watching for my next video on this coming soon. I'm going to dive into specific categories and how I declutter specific things like home decor, toys, clothes, all of that. So I'm excited to share more with you guys, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.